going on. Then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and peptide treatments to get your brain and your body back on track. So stop telling yourself you're just getting older. Book your appointment now at lowtusa.com. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250. Go to lowtusa.com.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Brust and Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee.
Hall of Famer because he failed to get the 40 of 50 votes. I am checking to see if those votes were made by dogs, cats, because there's no way it could have been by humans. I will not use the word stupid because that would be an embarrassment to stupid. I don't know what maybe John Anderson, 7'2½", can explain the word to describe the voters. 40 of 50 needed. The greatest NFL coach ever, other than if you leave out Paul Brown.
I think they are unconvinced is the word. I think they just think he's coming back. And so those 10 holdouts are just like, yeah, he's going to coach another game, and they don't want to put him in yet. That's simple. I just don't think those people think he's not done.
Well, but that's not for them to decide, is it? Like, if you thought Jordan was going to come back, would you not put him on the first ballot?
Just saying that you asked what I thought, what they were doing. They're unconvinced. Is it their job? I guess they have a vote. They can think that way any way they want.
Yeah, I think
but
if
that
you
would be my guess. They are thinking that there's no doubt that they think, well, he's coming back. He's not done. They're going to call him. And I mean, if Pete Carroll, Coach Tully was whatever he was and still came back, that they're going to be like when Bill, whatever, he's, whatever this North Carolina thing is, and if it goes 5 years and it turns around, then they'll think differently of it. But I just don't think anybody's convinced right now that he's done. Those people are.
Okay. I think it's possible that they let their pets vote instead of them. Like, for whatever reason, they decided they wanted to get some because I think your answer is correct because I couldn't think of anything. But I just thought originally, I've always thought that when a person didn't get in, it's because the people voting didn't like them.
That happens too, right? I think that happens. Yeah. It's stupid, but it happens.
But to me, I always assumed it happens on somebody who's marginal or if there's some legitimate reason. I don't. Yeah. I mean, and I think you. This proves you're just such a reasonable man.
And you've hit on one of my pet peeves, though. I always tell that people, like, Hank Aaron was not unanimous to get into the Hall. Like, what else would Hank Aaron have to do to be unanimous? Like, at what point does somebody go,
why that was
let me hold out. Let me just, let me let those numbers wash over me just another year, just to make sure.
But you know the reason why that was, because you heard the same one I did, that there had never been a unanimous one, and if the other ones weren't Babe Ruth or whoever you want to pick, then Hank Aaron can't either. Right, and then it changed. Isn't Mariano Rivera the first one?
He was the first, right? Because somebody held out on Jeter.
Yes.
And for the longest time, I think the highest percentage for a long time, wasn't it Tom Seaver or somebody?
Could have been.
Who was very good. I mean, like Tom Seaver, Hall of Famer all around. I just didn't like that wasn't the guy I would have said, who is the guy with the all-time highest
I would have said Willie Mays.
Mm-hmm.
I thought in my era growing up, now I was not old enough to appreciate the greatness of Mickey Mantle in the 50s before his legs were out. But in that debate that I grew up with, Hank Aaron Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays. I never understood how anybody could pick anybody but Mays, and that's going from about 1960 on. And Aaron had the greatest longevity and did some things, but at the time that debate existed in my life, Hank Aaron was never even considered. He was automatically third, and it was whether it was Mantle or Mays. But
I like Jim Murray's explanation for that. Why he was
I'll bet it was a good one. Yes.
He said, if you watched Mays, he overpowered the game.
Correct.
And if you watched Hank Aaron, he got the game to cooperate with him.
Yeah.
And
do you?
I have a guy that
I'll interrupt for just a second, but I'll let you finish because I'm afraid that Jim Murray is similar to Don Hudson. But I thought he was the greatest writer, and I had no interest in being in the media then. I thought he was the greatest sports writer I ever read. And I would often think he can't be this good. But I don't know.
And every day.
Yeah, it was L.A. Times, correct? L.A. Times.
Yeah. Mostly, yeah. That's really.
Can you explain to people, because you do everything better than I do, can you explain Jim Murray to people? As relative,
no, I don't.
Compare him to anybody. Because he didn't irritate people, right? And my memory was he never went about. I mean, Howard Cosell was the most powerful sports figure I can remember, but he prided himself.
Murray had a way of poking without drawing blood. He
Another
had a
great
way.
line. Yes,
he had a way of just his. Part of what made him great is the depth and breadth of his knowledge, so that he could write about anything. When he'd talk about, the greatness of some player, I don't know. And he'd be, like Willie Mays, right? You need a ball player, that'd be great. If you need a cowboy, find John Wayne. You need an opera, find, Puccini. And if you need a center fielder, go find Mays, right? The way he handled that.
I always thought if they did an article on the top 5 or top 10 columns ever written, they'd all be his.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was, and I think that's with Hank Aaron all the time. Like, we sometimes underappreciate it because he didn't have to be as flashy as other, which isn't to say that Mays purposely was. It just, that was he was flamboyant when he played. He was eye catching. And
he did actually one thing that I think trumped Mays. And I couldn't believe it. I read it in the Bill James book when he went through all the players alphabetically. And it said there, Hank Aaron in the minor leagues hit cross-handed. And I said, that's not possible. I said, it's not possible.
Yeah.
And
that's
in
the
Negro Leagues, he did. So I ran into Hank Aaron at Ozaki Country Club in Milwaukee with some event, and I went up to him and I said, is this really true? That you hit cross-handed and you were that good cross-handed? He said, yeah, I think he mentioned, and he really didn't want to talk about it, and I think that he thought I was making fun of him a little bit, like, how could you have been so stupid to hit cross-handed? And I thought it was like the worst interview I ever did because I was hoping he would just explain, like, and I went into a batting cage hitting cross-handed just to see. You have to have the strongest wrists in the history of humanity. You can't hit. Have you ever done it? You can't hit the ball more than a foot.
Well, maybe that's it. They're like, we put this guy's hands on the bat, right? He'll be a terror.
So I don't. But yes, I think maybe in the didn't he played in the Negro League a little bit, didn't he? Am I right about that? I think.
I don't know if he was.
But he played in Eau
Birmingham.
Claire, and I don't know if he said he changed in Eau Claire or someone said something to him.
Willie Mays did briefly. He played there.
Yes.
I'd have to go back. Howard Bryant wrote just the kind of the definitive biography of Hank Aaron. If you ever get a chance to read
All
that,
right, I will. I say I will. I don't know that I will.
Well, if you're ever looking for one like that, the Howard Bryant.
What did you learn so that you can save me from reading it? What was the most amazing thing that about Hank Aaron?
I think some of it is just including what Hank himself said that most people hadn't, right? Like, Hank agreed to talk to him. So there's more actual first-person accounts from Hank. You had heard about him with his cardboard suitcase standing at the railway station to go his first place. But to hear him talk about that, in him describing it is what makes it different, and I think more personable. And some of his times in Milwaukee, because there were struggles there too. Some of the personal things he dealt with, where he was able to, where he lived, and sometimes it wasn't even that he suffered, because he was treated in many cases very well for an African American, but he kind of chafed at seeing other Black people that didn't get what he got, and there was some guilt in where he was, and it's an extraordinary thing, and mostly because he got access to Hank, or in this case, Henry Aaron. It's funny, I mentioned that I went to a dinner shortly after I got here in Columbia. It was probably 6 or 7 months ago. And it was the fellow who runs the Negro League Museum in Kansas City was there. He was talking, and he kept talking about Henry Aaron and Henry Aaron and Henry Aaron. And I said to him, I noticed, part of this came out in the book that I read, is that Hank Aaron was more of a character. That was the baseball player. And the people that knew him and knew him well as a friend called him Henry. And I asked if he had made that distinction on purpose. And he did say, yes, I felt like because I knew him and he was a friend that I always called him Henry Aaron. And sometimes I talk about Hank Aaron, but when I talk personally about him, I talk about Henry Aaron. So he was just,
Wow.
And,
I just thought he did
picture
everything
hangs right outside my office. If you're ever looking for
Seriously?
my office, don't look for my name tag. Look for my picture of Henry Aaron. Yeah.
I have a copy of the 1974 All-Star Game program signed clearly by Hank Aaron. That I got some, but I always thought he did everything in his life with a total grace and this. And I said to somebody, I wanted to do a story, but I thought he meant like, tell me what he was like when he got mad. I never heard everything. It's like, when did he get mad, or what was he like? And I think, and I'll speak for him, even if I'm wrong, that of all that Bud Selig did for baseball as commissioner, the one thing he I think is as proud of as anything is getting people to appreciate the greatness of, I'm sure he called him Henry Aaron. I mean, changing, giving awards or whatever. Like, yes, he took Jackie Robinson, but to get people, force people to look and understand who and what Henry Aaron was, he did it. So,
so he's there. He's in the on-deck circle in his powder blue Brewer uniform, and that's the picture that hangs. Yeah, it hangs just below my my nameplate in my office. There was Hank Aaron.
Well, I also was told he smoked in the dugout, but I didn't have a chance to ask him that either.
One guy said to me one time, he goes, "Wow, you must really like the Brewers that you've got a picture of the Brewers underneath." I'm like, dude, that's not it's Hank Aaron. Like, that's
Correct.
bigger than just who we played for. Like, it's Hank Aaron.
No, Hank Aaron wasn't a Brewer. Come on.
And I keep in my phone, I keep this, you can't see it. I just keep a little photo from the Baseball Almanac of June 12th, 1975, because that's when I saw him break the all-time home run record. He homered off Vita Blue for number 739, which at that time broke the old record of 738. So I get that it's on a technicality, but I always like to tell people I saw him break the all-time home run record.
Well, I don't understand. It was 738 wasn't the record. It was his
Sure it was.
record.
Every time he hit one, it was set a new record.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So, because people will go 715. I'm like, no, I saw him hit 739. I'm like, well, that's not the record. I'm like, every time he swung it, every time he hit one, it was the new record. He just kept breaking. He just kept putting the record out there. So, like I said, it's a technicality.
Well, it is a technicality because I have to think about how many he hit, because to me, all he ever did in terms of the numbers was beat Babe Ruth. So, I mean,
755.
I know, and Jerry Augustine was the winning pitcher for that game.
So
that's my new nickname for him, 755.
Jerry Augustine has more complete games than in his career than Justin Verlander, and he has more shutouts than Max Scherzer.
And do you know my follow-up question? And what, sir, is your point of that?
How the game has changed. Just how the game has changed. that Jerry Augustine, who was a long career and pitched well for the Brewers, mostly out of the bullpen, the way the game has changed, he has more shutouts than Scherzer and more complete games than Justin Verlander.
And I want to check on this. He threw a 3-hitter against the White Sox that took like 42 minutes or something, and he threw like 81 pitches in the whole game or something. Both the time of the game and the number of pitches. I'll look. I guess I could just go to AI or somebody should. I always say to go to the Institute. It's one of those things where I feel lucky to have been around when he played, but also to have observed him after he played. That the younger people, there's a certain age in which you don't, and I can't imagine growing up here when he was with the Braves and so young, and they had such a great team. I don't know that anybody has been luckier than the Braves fans then to see Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews, Warren Spahn, and there are others, probably Lou Burdette. But, it's like the Packer fans that grew up with the Lombardi era. There's no way to describe how lucky those people were, right?
I mean, and some of us are born into the 70s Packers. and those scars remain.
That's it, yes. The scars I took when I said when Bart Starr was coaching and then I want him to lose every game. Because if they win a few, people will think it's going to get better. It'll never get better. That was not the wise thing to say or to say so publicly. But all right, enough. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to put it together with, you said Warren Spahn, and then we had talked about Willie Mays. On the anniversary of Willie Mays' first home run, I don't know when it was 50 years or whatever it is, Warren Spahn was living just outside of Tulsa on a golf course out there, and I had to go interview Warren Spahn about the first home run.
Did he give up the first one?
Yeah. So Willie Mays did his first home run with Warren Spahn. So I go out and I find Warren Spahn. I kind of tell him, I'm from Wisconsin, and so I kind of know of your lore and some of the guys. And he sits down. It could have been nice, and we talked about it. And he's like, "Well, it wasn't a wall scraper. Like he hit it up. It wasn't a cheapie." And we got done. It only takes like 8 minutes because what are you going to do, right? You can only have so much. And he got done, and then he said, "Well," he goes, You got me out of here for that 8 minutes? Sit down. And then we just sat for another like 45 minutes and talked baseball. It was one of the best days of my life. This is amazing. Warren Spahn's like, if you're going to waste my time, you're going to waste an hour of it, not 8 minutes. And then we sat and chatted baseball.
Yes, I won't tell the story, but I have an additional story that tells you that how difficult Warren Spahn could be, or that he would have that tone.
True.
Hey,
he said some things in those 45 minutes that he would not want repeated now.
Hey, kid, sit down. I got more to say. Jason Wilde next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Southbound on 41, we've got backups from just south of Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. You're back on the brakes from Greenfield on the bypass, heading southbound all the way through the Hale onto 894 eastbound, and that stays heavy all the way to Forest Home. Westbound 94, you got backups out of the Marquette all the way past Mitchell Boulevard. You'll be back on the brakes just before Moreland Road all the way past Calhoun. Eastbound's got backups from Brookfield Road past Calhoun as well, and then again from 84th Street to Hawley Road, and then coming out of the Stadium Interchange. Traffic is brought to you by Monster Jam, coming to Fiserv Forum this Saturday and Sunday. Buy tickets at Ticketmaster.com and watch Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, and other featured Monster Jam trucks. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 1 above. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 11. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
I'm going to tell you this, there will be more scrutiny, so I think he better get off to a fast start.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Because I can already picture whomever we play right out of the gates. And I got a hunch the old Fire Gannon hashtags are going to be warmed up and ready to go if things don't start well. He is not going to have a ton of built-in grace at that position.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, this is Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Racine Danish Kringles has you covered with their heart-shaped Kringle. You know my family loves Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles, and sometimes they share it with me. Racine Danish Kringles offers a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing in raspberry, chocolate silk, cherry, and pecan flavors to send to your loved one. Order at Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, the official pastry of ESPN Wisconsin. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
you're going to be happy, happy, happy.
And with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
or a better diamond
or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
if you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year and Jason Wilde, and 7'2.5" John Anderson. Take it away. Apparently, Belichick didn't get a first ballot because Bill Polian said he should sit a year because of cheating. So
who told you that?
Somebody had it on. It was part of the story on ESPN. Somebody's leaked it out because they, I'm certain, don't agree, and they want everybody to know what happened. And that appears.
Yeah. I just wonder, is that a 1 year for? Because there were a couple incidents that were questionable. Maybe he's got to serve another one.
You'd have to ask Bill Polian, apparently. And now to Jason Wilde. Maybe he knows.
Jason, do you care that Bill Belichick did not get into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot?
I'm no Bill Belichick fan, but I care because I think it's indicative of how messed up the system is for voting in coaches now. I mean, Mike Holmgren should have gotten in last year. He fell 2 votes shy because they installed this 80% rule last year. Before, all you had to do was get the majority of the votes. And so you've got now guys that are in the Hall of Fame as coaches and contributors that all they had to do was get a majority of votes, and they got in. Mike Holmgren, if my math is correct, got 38 out of the possible 50 votes. And obviously you need 40 for 80%. So even though he had 38 people vote for him, which would have been more than enough to get plenty of other guys in, it did not get him in last season. And now this year, the same thing has happened to Belichick. I don't know. Is there anything in that report, maybe Pebble has this, that says how many votes he actually did get? Because that would also be interesting.
40, I thought, right? 40 out of 50?
No, you need 40. He fell short of 40.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, yeah.
So less than 40. It could have been 39. But again, they changed that rule literally last year, and I just don't. I think it's wrong.
So if I sit in my class, Jason, and ask students, should we as journalists, should we be the ones, especially in the Hall of Fame for pro football, where you actually have to have some sort of media member advocate, or the Baseball Hall of Fame, or if I'm basketball and we can determine contracts by if you're first team or second team or third team as voted by me, should we be in that business?
Look, I don't. I'm not a voter. Obviously, I don't go to the Super Bowl every year. I'm not in the room where it happens. But I've obviously got multiple friends who are on the committee, and so I think some of them who are certainly happy to be on the committee would, off the record, say that it's not the best system. I'm not sure baseball is any better. There's just a hell of a lot more voters, obviously. But again, what I find odd, and I've said this before to them and to others, like, you basically have to make a presentation, like Pete Doherty presenting Leroy Butler. Like, I don't know if I want my case to be in the hands of what if the guy that's my representative's not very convincing, right? Like, and I know all these guys take their job seriously. I'm not besmirching any of them, but like Ira Kaufman was in charge of presenting Warren Sapp, and he got up and said, "I hate Warren Sapp. I think he's a terrible person. I hated covering him." I'm paraphrasing, but that was essentially the message. And he said, "But you know what? This guy's one of the greatest football players of all time. He belongs in here. So as much as it pains me, this should be obvious to you guys. He is definitely a Hall of Famer." And that worked, right? Maybe that doesn't work with somebody else or whatever, but my point is that it's just so incumbent on how effectively, like, if you're on the fence on a guy, it comes down to who does a better job of advocating it. And what's weird is, like, if it is a player that you have a bad relationship with, and yet you've got to try and be a professional and advocate for them anyway, I mean, it's just a weird dynamic. And so I don't know. It's also a smaller number of people. Like, I don't know what the solution is, and I hate it when people complain about something and don't have a solution.
How about this then? Can you make a case for me that Keyshawn Nixon should be in the Pro Bowl?
If Deion Sanders' kid is, hell yes.
I was just going to say, so Shadur Sanders is in too. So, again, another example of a broken system. And to your point, what you were saying about basketball and the NBA, like, those decisions do affect guys' financial situations. Like, if you get all NBA team and you get a bonus of some sort, like, I would say that I feel like most, not all, but the vast majority of people that do my job that are in those positions, like Tom Silverstein is our AP voter. So he votes for All-Pro and MVP and all those things. I mean, while others that have covered the team for that outlet were not nearly as ethical, he is. You can say whatever you want about Spoon, but Tom Silverstein is probably the most ethical beat writer I've ever worked with. And so I don't have any concern about him, but he's not the presenter for the Hall of Fame. That's Pete Doherty, who obviously, aside from the fact that he went to Missouri, is a phenomenal guy. And so I'm not worried about our guys. I would also argue that I'm not sure that I really want that responsibility if either of those guys retire and one of them asks, "Do you want to do this?" Because you got to do it right, because there's a lot riding on it.
So we got a new defensive coordinator in the room for the Green Bay Packers.
Not officially. We still haven't announced that.
Pardon me?
Well, they haven't announced it.
Okay, so it appears that he's
not
there.
officially announced.
Why don't they announce these things? Explain, Jason.
Yeah, I'm spending this entire segment unable to explain things because it doesn't make any sense. Like, and I've been through this process now before multiple times. They want to announce the entire staff once they have the entire staff intact. So
that was to be like.
Why?
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, we want everybody to feel welcome at one time, apparently. One press conference is all we need.
I want a press conference for everyone. Like, let's go.
Do too.
I need content. Our fans want to read about them. There's no reason that Jonathan Gannon and Matt LaFleur is going into his 8th season. He does 4 press conferences a week during the week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then talks after the game. During the off season, he can certainly handle, today we're here to introduce our new defensive coordinator. Hey, today we're here to introduce our defensive backs coach. And look, I get it. There's going to be change, right? I mean, when you get a new defensive coordinator, a lot of times he wants his own guys as position coaches. You saw this with LaFleur. Like, there was no reason for James Campen not to continue as the offensive line coach other than LaFleur wanted a guy who was steeped in that Kyle Shanahan zone read blocking system, and so he hired Steno. But there was no reason why. It's not as if James Campen couldn't have coached that, but sometimes that's just the case. And so that is another layer to this Gannon hiring. We know that Jeff Hafley has taken Ryan Downard and Sean Duggan, both of whom are proteges of his, had worked with him previously at Pass Stops. He's taking both of them, so they'll have to replace those two. But there's been times where they've gotten a defensive coordinator who's changed out everybody, right? Like when they hired Dom Capers, they had to because they were switching schemes. There's been other times when they hired Joe Barry that he just inherited everybody that was already there, which, there's a lot of issues with Joe Barry, but I'm not sure that his quality of his assistant coaches were the cause of his downfall.
So that's where I was going to kind of go with is I saw Mannion, he interviewed in Philly. I don't know that assistant coach talk is my favorite thing, but I would like to know, who Hafley might still raid, who else might be going to look for work, who's out there that I should be aware of that may be departing the building.
Yeah, to me, the biggest question is Adam Stenovich going to get another job elsewhere where he's the play caller for a defensive-minded head coach? Is Matt LaFleur going to say, you know what, we need some new ideas. We're going to try somebody different. Would you like to stick around as the offensive line coach because we're going to move on from Luke Butkus, which, again, I don't know if they're going to do that even. We have no idea. And so I don't know if that position's going to be open. I am of the belief that if they were actually going to change the special teams coordinator, which I never thought they would, frankly, it would have happened by now. So again, the way changes happen now, most likely, not impossible that somebody could get fired, but it's, this guy gets a job somewhere else. Now we got to fill that spot. And my biggest, and I would say this to Matt LaFleur if he was on the line with us, if Steno leaves for whatever reason, another opportunity, or you decide to move on, I would be very skeptical if you decided to stay in-house and you gave it to Luke Getsy, who's on his 3rd stint with the team, or if you gave it to Nathaniel Hackett, who's been back working with the defense, giving them the offensive perspective on stuff that they're running, or if you, I don't want to say panicked, but said, because LaFleur loves Sean Mannion. He coached him with the Rams once upon a time. I would be leery of, the Eagles want him, so we're going to move on from Steno so we can keep him and make him our offensive coordinator. There's just a lot of potential moving pieces, and I'm not sure I feel great about any of them. But there's part of you that just says, hey, if you really think you were as good as you believe you were last year, before you lose Kraft. And I mean, maybe change is not the best thing, but I'm a fan of getting some new ideas.
But Jason, didn't the president just say that he just got a 3-year extension? You give me a 3-year extension, that's telling me you're doing it. Let's go, keep it going, and players to be healthy. How could LaFleur look at it any other way?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe he doesn't. Has that?
I would.
Who has reported that it's a 3-year extension?
No one, but that's just my guess.
Okay.
So what do you think?
Even if it's multi-year, he's here for 3 years. Even if it's multi, so that's more than one. So that's 2 plus 1 and a half. So you're at least on the hook for 3.
Yeah,
right.
you got it 2 years. But do you object to 3 years, or do you think that's probably too much, or what?
No, I don't. I'm always, as you well know, I'm leery of stating things in a
right. But either way,
for a fact.
If I'm LaFleur and you guys both tell me if I'm wrong, I don't got to change anything. I change whatever I think I need to change because they clearly have told me, go for it. We believe in you, right?
Yeah, I don't think I would agree with you. I don't think he's saying, oh, the message is I have to change things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he's worth his salt, which I believe he is, my expectation is for him to say, I need to change some things.
Right.
Because even with the injuries, this wasn't good enough.
Oh. Wouldn't special teams be a part of that? And we know he's not changing special teams, right?
Yeah, I can't say that for 100. Again, we talk so much about Rich Bisaccia in terms of his value to the culture and all this other stuff, but the bottom line is that their special teams has not been net positive. At the same time, look at the Rams. The Rams fired their guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had a big special teams play that they won a game with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happened when the Super Bowl was on the line?
Messed up again.
Right. So
Twice.
does that guy suck as a special teams coach? Or just maybe, are special teams coaches like hitting coaches in baseball, where they're not really responsible for that much. They have the schemes. They teach the fundamentals. But if these guys don't go out and execute, if those guys don't go out and hit the baseball when it's pitched over the plate, they get fired, even though it's not really because of them.
That sounds like a topic for a future discussion. Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. Do you think he got a 3-year extension, John Anderson, 7.5?
Yeah, I think it's 3.
And do you believe the special teams coach will be back?
Undoubtedly.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, I don't think there's any yet.
And why the strength of that opinion?
Because you've got to lose your job 3 times and haven't.
I have nothing to add to that. We'll break and get to the third quarter with 7.5 next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We got backups westbound 94 from 17th Street all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes from Highway 100 all the way to Calhoun. On the eastbound side, we got backups from Brookfield Road to Calhoun and then out of the 76th Street area past 68. And then actually looks pretty good all the way to the Marquette. Southbound 41, though, we do have delays from Silver Spring down past Capitol and then back on the brakes from Blue Mound Road down through the Zoo Interchange. One more backup from just before Beloit Road down and around the Hale Interchange to Forest Home. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 1 above. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 11. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Brewers mini ticket plans for the 2026 season are available now with 6-game, 12-game, and build your own plan options. You can pick or build the best plan for your schedule, whether you're gearing up for tailgates under the sun, the thrill of the home runs, or the eruptions of walk-off wins. Brewers mini plans have you covered for the 2026 season with specially discounted ticket rates and more exclusive perks in each plan. Check out all the mini plan options available for 2026 now at brewers.com/ticket plans.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly Lively Social, the studio kitchen and cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Arrowhead senior and Minnesota commit Natalie Kussow. Kussow etched her name into the record books, becoming the all-time leading scorer in Waukesha County girls basketball history. She followed the record-breaking milestone with a dominant performance in Arrowhead's 77-41 win over Muskego, finishing with 33 points as the Warhawks improved to a perfect 13-0 on the season. Already a Wisconsin Gatorade Player of the Year and a contributor to a state championship track and field team, Kussow continues to lead one of the top programs in Wisconsin while preparing to join the University of Minnesota next season. Congratulations to Natalie Kussow, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. And for over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses, all of them, build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. It can be complicated, doesn't have to be. Better than 50 years doing it, from health insurance to customized coverage options. Saganiac Planning's experts make it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning. SaganiacPlanning.com or call Eric Pearson, 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161. Saganiac Planning, better than 50 years. It is the John Anderson Homer Hour, 7-2.5. For those of you who don't know that he high jumped 7-2.5 at one point in his life. How old were you? I don't know that I've asked that. How old were you when you had a career best 7-2.5? 20? 20?
Flat, 20, 40 years ago.
Wow.
40 years ago.
And it has amazed me every day that since I learned it. Did you feel after 7-2.5, I'm just getting going, watch my smoke? Or
nope. I thought, boy, I don't know that this will ever happen again in my life.
Wow.
No.
So you were amazed, surprised. What was the
I thought that if anybody has ever maxed out their potential, I may have right there. It wobbled a little bit before. By all rights, it should have come down. And on a lesser, someone with lesser luck on that day, it might have come down. So,
I just assumed your best prior to that would have been 7-2, but I don't really know that.
No, I jumped 7 foot a half inch and 7-2.5 on the same day. I set my PR twice.
2 inches. How rare is that in the competition?
At that point, they still were going high. Then I'm trying to think. They were.
No, but I mean, did
anybody? They were still going 5 centimeter increments, I think, and then they went down. I mean, it was a long time ago. But since it was a lesser meet, a lot of times they just move it up, and I think they probably went 210, 215, 220. So I went, 215.
Again, you throw all that stuff in, it just confuses. That's just irritating.
Sorry.
People have no idea it's me. But my point is, when you went 7 and they raised it 2 inches, did you think, I'm feeling pretty good today?
Yeah, I thought, like everything, right? At that point, when you think it might be more than you have, is how can if I get my hits on top of it, I got a chance.
Oh.
And that's all it was.
Yeah.
I was coach. Just get your, because I don't think the coach thought it was going to happen either. Like, just get your hips on top of it and you got a shot. And then I think that it stayed up. He was excited too, but I don't think he ever thought, all right, we're one step closer to going to
Do you talk to the coach between the 7.5 inch and 7 and 2.5?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. We visit with him all the time. Mm-hmm.
I know, because the only time I wrestled, the coach told me before I got on the mat, don't get pinned. I would hope that your coach would be. Did he say, like, let's go? You can do this. Or I don't know what they say in between. Did he say you can do this? Do you remember all of that? Or
no, not much. No, he was always just in my case, very much always harped the same thing. Knee up, toe up, and then you'll be fine. Wow. And so that was you want to get your drive leg up and do that. He was always very consistent. Make sure you get you lean, right? He was much more about getting off the ground than you were in the ground or in the air.
All right.
In the air.
So did you have any teammates that said, hey, Anderson, you got 7.3 or 7.4 in you? Or did they not have that conversation?
That's just not the kind of guy he was. That was just not.
But even teammates?
He spoke very little. He was very quiet and didn't say much. So you listen when that happened.
All right. Did any teammates suggest that you could do higher?
Literally, he used to say great things like, men, be loose as a goose and twice as shifty. And then we'd go out and run, trying to figure out what the hell that meant.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, let's go to YouTube. We have questions for you, and I thought I would get something more positive because they're very tough.
All right.
John Anderson, agree or disagree? The Packers have the worst coaching staff in the NFC North.
I don't know all of the players in all the NFC North. I think they have some good coaches. I think Matt LaFleur is a very fine coach. I just don't think he's long for the coach to be of this team anymore. I think Dan Campbell's probably better.
This person then says Ben Johnson better than LaFleur. That was the follow-up.
We'll have to wait and see. Ben had one nice year, right? And even to some extent, look at Campbell. He had a couple good years that were in there, and now what are they after this year when they missed the playoffs? So we'll have to see what he is when he comes back. I thought the Vikings coach was really good with quarterbacks, and then they got nothing out of McCarthy, right? Like he turned Darnold into a guy that went to the Super Bowl. But I think overall it's a really deep and like you could be the fourth best coach in the NFC North and maybe be in the top 6 in the whole NFC.
Yeah. This is sarcastic. I assume. I'll let you judge. Actually, let's just run it back. That'll work. Can I answer first?
I think that is sarcastic. Well, that's what they're doing. So
yes, that's what they're doing, and I think they had enough talent with those people healthy. You always try to get better, but yeah, I want to see what happens when those people stay healthy. So
here's the thing, though, Homer.
Yeah.
Even without those people healthy, okay. Even without those people healthy,
yes,
they had the Bears beat.
Yes,
and didn't win.
Yes, they should have won the game. Yes,
even with the first week after Parsons out, they go to Chicago and have that game won, and then didn't.
Yes.
So at some point, that tells me that's not a personnel issue.
It's a coaching issue. Am I right to follow up on that?
I would think that those are the only two people that really affect the game. Where I sit and you in the stands yelling yay or nay does not.
I have a theory on that. You can tell me if I'm wrong before the break. I think he's a coordinator. He focuses totally during games on the plays, the next plays, and it limits his interest, availability, or concern for the other stuff.
Yeah, probably, but I'm not horribly alarmed by that. I mean, guys have their side of the ball that they work with, but I don't know that I ever, if you think of some of the all-time greats, right? I think Parcells was way more concerned about his defense than he ever did care about offense. Put in Jeff Hostetler, I don't know, call some plays, he'll win. So I don't know that that he's so preoccupied with that. And maybe that is. Maybe I should be paying more attention to what happens there. But
Whatever it is, I don't think he's changed much.
It was a lot of recurring problems. It is a lot of the same problem over and over again, at which point you got to wonder.
Now YouTube is taking up the world record of the men's high jump is 8 feet, 0.045 inches, set in 1993. Is it accurate? We'll find out from 7'2½" next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Truth Nation, mark your calendars for Friday, February 20th, as we will be hosting our second annual Truth Community Awards, hosted by the legendary Homer Blow and Bailey Cope. Tickets are on sale now. Visit 1017truthawards.com to learn more. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks, Gruber, Steinhoffel, Cousin Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. Come celebrate with us on Friday, February 20th at the Truth Community Awards from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do not miss out on the best community awards event of the year.
Homer here with a message about 3 Pillar Senior Living Communities located on a serene setting along the Bark River on 300 gorgeous acres. 3 Pillar Senior Living Communities is a top-ranked full continuum community. Active adult, independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab. 3 Pillars, the hands-down choice for you or your loved one. Been there. Know people who live there. They love it. You got to go to Dousman and see it in person. Get all the info on 3 Pillars at 3pillars.org.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here, you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free, and 0% financing for 60 months, $1,000 off, plus a bonus vacation voucher. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Life's better with American Family Insurance, because we know you love working weekends, if it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year Savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse and fun on the gaming floor where big wins wait for you. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Subscribe on YouTube whenever or wherever you're listening. You know we're live on YouTube as well. You can watch the show, see what's happening in the studio, and comment along with us. Just search ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and subscribe today. And among the YouTube questions, the discussion about the world record in the high jump, no one is eligible to comment on that except 7'2.5" himself, John Anderson. All right, what's the truth? They said 8, and I know you'll give it in 240 or whatever it is, but it's 8 feet, 0.045 inches, 1993 is what I got, but I don't know that it's accurate.
So because of the rounding, so it's 8 feet a half inch is the world, or 8 feet 1/4 inch is the world record.
And
8 feet 1/2.
Has it been the world record for that long?
Since 93, been 30 years. Yeah,
that's not possible.
Yeah, so 8 feet and then 1/4 inch, which is 245. And he's the only guy that's jumped 8 foot. Javier Sotomayor, and he did it twice. He jumped 243, which is by metric they call it 8 feet even. It's a little higher than that. And then he jumped 245, about 4 or 5. He did that in 93. 89, I think, is when he jumped 2. They are if they're special. What's happened is, and Bolt came along, and he's unique, just like Sotomayor is. And because of the new shoe technology, that's why all the distance running records are getting crashed all the time. Every year, new distance records go down because they got new and better improved shoes. And so guys now that, right, like, and I know you're always going to tell me this is Hudson, but so when Roger Bannister broke 4 minutes, which I still think is one of the greatest feats in the history of mankind, last year indoors, collegians, there were more than 100 that broke the 4-minute mile. We've gotten better physically in training and a lot of things, but also a lot of it is just actually the technology of the shoes.
So
that's why they can break.
So the high jump's kind of like punters. Punters
In
haven't
what
gotten
way?
they're not getting any better. They're just the same. And I mean, don't you think? Are you surprised or shocked that nobody has broken that record in 30 years?
No. And look how long it's been since the long jump record was broken, right? It's been the long jump record that Mike Powell has been around longer than the time between Beeman and when Powell broke it.
Wow.
A lot of the field events aren't there. It took forever, but then finally, there's another guy that, like the shot put record, when it finally went down, this guy Krauser, who's now got 3 Olympic gold medals, is just, he's going to be an all-timer, when I did a commercial with Usain Bolt for ESPN one time, which was great, I took my kid out of school, said Colin, and he was 6 or 7 years old, so it's been 15 years. And I said to his mom, we're taking him out because this will still be the world record when he's 30, and he needs to come and meet this guy. And so that's what we did.
Whoa, man!
And then he wrote a story about Bolt and meeting him that he entitled, he was in 3rd grade, and he said, my dad is not the fastest man in the world. Bolt signed the homework, they turned it in, and the teacher threw it away.
And you protested outside the school or something or anything?
Oh, but I'm like, how did you throw away an autographed thing by Usain Bolt? How do you not know what you had in your hands? Come on, lady. Come on, teacher.
Yeah.
Program.
That you gave her more sugar than she deserved. She should have got more salt. 3 Pillars Senior Living Communities. Beautiful selling along the Bark River on 300 acres in Dousman. 300 acres. That's how they can be a top-ranked full continuum community, offering active adult and independent living, assisted living and memory care, skilled nursing and rehab, and they have a great staff, and they're even greater with 300 acres. I can't even say it. I have to yell it. 3pillars.org. I wish they'd change it to 300acres.org, but I'm not in charge. ESPN National, they will not have nearly as much good stuff about the high jump or the long jump or any jump. It'll be Bill Belichick for 5 hours. Next.
Northbound 43, right about at North Avenue, we do have